Do you recall for how long approximately Mr. McCarthy was in front of the judge?
A few minutes. They all take a few minutes. I couldn't say for sure because I'm concerned about other things.
What else are you doing at the time?
Trying to find out who's going to be next. There was a female prisoner already sitting in that hallway, if you want to call it the hallway, so I was watching her and finding out who was next.
Approximately how wide is this hallway?
4 feet, I don't know.
Is there enough room for people to walk side by side if they wanted to?
I guess you could, but it would be tight probably.
You said there was a female waiting in the hallway area?
Yes.
She was seated?
Yes.
So there was one or more chairs over there?
Usually there's one, for that reason, and also for the remands, that once they're remanded off the street, we have to sit them there until they're processed and make up the paperwork before corrections will take them in. So that chair is there for that reason, for the females, because they're not allowed to be kept in the back with the other population. So that's why that chair was there, usually one or two.
Do you have any recollection of what was discussed during Daniel McCarthy's court appearance on this day?
No.
In your experience, is it ever necessary for you to become aware of events that transpire at a defendant's specific court appearance?
No. As a penman, all you're interested in is getting the card and bringing him back to the pen area, and corrections does the rest.
You say getting the card, you mean the $2.99?
Correct. Once that's completed, I take that back with the prisoner.
So at the end of the court appearance, I take it the case would be adjourned for some other reason?
At the end, yes.
And the adjournment period and any other remarks would be indicated on the $2.99 form?
Yes, the adjourned date, change of bail, the adjournment part.
Then the $2.99 would be returned from the desk officer to whoever is supposed to escort the defendant back in the direction of the feeder pens?
Into corrections, yes.
Now, were you aware that prior to your taking custody again of Mr. McCarthy, were you aware that Mr. McCarthy had a relative or a friend in the courtroom?
I was aware someone, a female, was in the courtroom because early in the morning a female did approach the rail, asked me about a defendant, was he produced, and I believe she also asked me if I knew who his attorney was, and I believe I gave her both information.
At any time during or immediately after Mr. McCarthy's court appearance, did you hear him say anything to this or any other person in the courtroom proper?
Did I hear Mr. McCarthy say anything? No.
Did you hear any of the remarks on or off the record of Judge McGoodman with regard to this court appearance?
No.
Nonetheless, at some point in time, the custody of Mr. McCarthy was returned to you. Is that right?
After they were finished, yes.
And it was returned to you by whom?
Ed Deutscher would tell him to step in.
And did he give you the $2.99 card?
Ed doesn't have the $2.99 card.
Only the desk sergeant does?
The desk officer.
The desk officer, excuse me.
He's the one who's listening, so he could write down the date.
Did you receive $2.99 card of Daniel McCarthy directly from the desk officer?
I never got it.
When typically would you have gotten it?
Normally, as I'm bringing him back, and that's what he was doing. He was filling it out. As Mr. McCarthy stepped into the hall area, now, he's in front of me, he's between me and that female, I'm waiting for the card to be filled out.
Would the desk officer generally get up from his desk and bring it to you?
In this particular courtroom, you would have to, because you have to go right by him, so he wouldn't have to get up.
So you would just go over and take it from him?
While I was passing him, I would wait until he finishes it, tell the defendant to keep going, and then go on.
Could you return a defendant to the feeder cell area without the card?
You could, but then corrections can't do anything with him until they get the card. So for them to release the prisoners out of that pen area so they could bring up more, they need that card.
On this particular occasion, what happened as best as you can remember it?
Ed came around the wall. Mr. McCarthy went in front of me. He started heading back towards corrections. I'm waiting for the card. I'm watching him. He stops right before the female. I tell him, keep going. He just jumped, never said a word.
Now, you said that the window doesn't start until 3 or so feet off the ground. Is that correct?
Yes.
Were you able to see how he gained access to the window?
Yes.
How did he do that?
He stepped on the radiator and used his hands, and he went out, just went out, pulled himself out.
And said absolutely nothing?
Said not a word, not a word. I'm sorry.
That's all right. If you at any point you want to take a break.
I'm all right.
All right. Upon seeing that, What did you do?
Just sat down. Panic ensued.